This is the 2014 Kia Ssorento all-wheel drive. It says the SX model, and it does feature the 3.3 liter V6 engine, and that engine develops 290 horsepower and 252 pound-feet of torque. It's a very powerful motor. It gets this car moving pretty quickly. I guess my only personal beef with it is the fuel economy. It's rated at 24. However, I think just in my own experience, it was getting closer to 18, which you know, maybe I'm a little heavy-footed, I don't know. But anyway, it's a very good little crossover SUV. This one's priced right around into the mid-30s, and it has a ton of available features on it. And we'll go ahead and start with the power liftgate here. As you can see, this model does feature a collapsible third row in case you need it. These pull up right here like this. Of course, you can pop these up or keep them down for extra visibility while you're driving. Most people will probably just keep these down. There's a little bit of storage right there with the jack, that kind of stuff. So overall, not too bad. Pretty decent cargo area for most, you know, casual hauling or trips to Costco or whatever you might do. Very comfortable car. I've been driving it here for the last few days. We'll go ahead inside and take a look what's going on. So this is the rear passenger seating area. As you can see, one nice feature that Kia did put in here now is it does have AC power outlet down there, as well as DC power, so you have your different options there that you can utilize. And there's also a switch in the front that'll enable or disable the AC power outlet. So there is technically a third seat here in the middle. However, it could be a little bit cramped, but there's the middle armrest that folds down. So overall, pretty decent comfort back here. Could have been a little bit more legroom in my opinion, but you know, it's pretty typical of a SUV of this size. So one of the areas that Kia's done a really good job of in the last couple of years is ramping up the quality of their interiors. It still does have quite a bit of use of plastic, but they've added some nice things like the quality of the leather seating in here. You got the stitched dash liner right here, and it just has a good tactical feel to it. Feels a little bit more upscale. Of course, they'd also have the nice ash colored wood grain paneling here that's incorporated really tastefully. Get inside here, go over a few things. So overall, you can see that it's pretty spacious for the front passengers. This one does feature the new Infinity sound system, improved sound system, I should say. And the reason it's improved is because it has what Kia is referring to as their next generation of UVO system. And this is developed by Microsoft for Kia. And it's hands down the best sounding audio system from Infinity that I've heard in any new car. I've always been a fan of the Infinity systems in the Kias. It's even more improved now with a better overall interface, better connectivity to Bluetooth. You have a lot more options now that you didn't have before. For example, I can actually set the tone now when I'm streaming Bluetooth audio. Couldn't do that before. It was kind of a cumbersome deal to do on the old system. So good overall improvements. The nav system still works great. It's very responsive, doesn't have a whole lot of delay, and I think you will be blown away on how good the sound system sounds in these cars. I was going to point out too, this one also features the nice panoramic roof, if you like that kind of thing, daylight, and of course here's the button to close that. Decent cabin size inside if you think about it. I mean, that's looking back here. Of course, I have the third row down, but yeah, it's overall pretty spacious cabin. I don't have any big issues with it. Of course, what I really like about this car the best is probably its performance. That 290 horsepower kicks in quite nicely. It's a pretty gutsy little motor. I think it could be a little bit more responsive off the line, but you know, that's just me. But overall, it's very powerful engine. More, you know, quite enough power to get this thing up and moving and haul a group full of passengers. So I really think you did a good job on that one. You can see over here too, there's some controls, including the differential lock for the all-wheel drive system, which is kind of nice. You do have the monitor system here for blind spot indicators that you can enable or disable, and of course traction control system. One other feature I wanted to point out here that's new to the 2014 Ssorento is, and that's the steering mode button here. As you can see, when I hit that, see it changes it to sport mode, comfort mode, and normal. I kind of keep it in sport. And basically it just adjusts the feel of the steering wheel. So like I like it in sport mode. It feels a little bit more like a German-esque type sedan. It's a little bit stiffer, and I don't know, I just like the feel of it. So, you know, not really an overall totally useful feature, but I think some people that want more of a feel for the steering, I think they'll probably keep it in sport mode. And of course, if you're just, you know, cruising on the freeway, you can keep it in comfort. But overall, it's just kind of a neat little feature that I think Kia added in, and I think it's kind of cool. The only downside that I really had of this car during my time driving it was the fuel economy. I thought that it fell quite a bit short from the EPA rating that Kia lists on the sticker, which is 18 in the city and 24 on the highway. I think overall, in my experience of driving this car, I was getting closer to probably 19 to 20 on the highway and about 16 around town. So I'm not sure how that's gonna bode for certain customers that are more concerned about fuel economy. There is a 4-cylinder motor available. However, the reports that I've read, it said it's pretty gutless. So I would definitely stick to the V6 model in my opinion. But overall, yeah, it's got a lot of great features. I think you'll really like it. There is an improved USB system now. And the old Kias for the iPhones used to have to use a modular plug system, and now you can just go right off the USB. Of course, there's dual DC power up here. And the other thing I mentioned earlier, there's this button here that'll enable or disable the AC power port for the back. There's that button. You have a parking assist here. You have the active ecosystem, which I drove around with, and it didn't seem to impede performance too much. But at the same time, too, I don't know if that really did anything overall for the fuel economy. There is dual heated and cooled front seats here for the people up front, and that is for the nav system. So it's pretty easy to update that in the future if you want. Just go get that SD card updated at the dealer, and it'll be set away. So anyway, if you're at all into the market for a mid-size SUV, this isn't quite compact. It's quite a little bit bigger than that. For one that really has a lot of features for the money, good power, decent handling, then I would recommend getting out and test driving one of the SX Kia Sorentos. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised for the most part. Save for the fuel economy, I think it's a pretty balanced rig overall, and I think it's very competitive. This one, again, the actual sticker on this, by the time it gets configured with all the options for this particular model, it was about $38,000. So still pretty competitive, and I'd love to know what you think. Get out and test drive one, and as always, leave your comments below, and thanks for tuning in.